Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Apothecary Diaries Season 2 Episode 23 reaction. So the previous episode, a few things happened. First and foremost, Lolan has decided to stay for now, and even though Mama told her to leave with her and all that, she has her stuff to do. She has some unfinished business. Obviously, one of the biggest reasons is because of her sister. Her sister was in the closet, so she had to go and save her from there. Not only that, the whole situation that's going to happen now in this place, the army is going to come in and everything. The whole situation with his mother, his father, all sorry, not his, her father, all these things. She has to stay and witness that up until the very end. At least that's what it seemed like. That's what she's trying to do. um, Mamo did give her her hairpin, so I'm not sure how that's going to. I'm pretty sure that's somehow going to come into significance later. I do hope. I don't know, that somehow saves her. I doubt that. I just don't see get the feeling that by the end of it she's going to survive. Even if she survives this, she'll probably be executed by the end. Anyways, but I do have a little hope because of the whole hairpin. I don't know what type of significance that is going to come in, how that's going to come into play in the future. Anyways, so that's what happening later on. We have Jinshi come in with the army. They find Mao Mao, and so yeah, currently Mao Mao's there with them. But also, Shisho has decided to step up finally and do something about the situation. Don't know what he's going to do, but let's see. So yeah, let us see what happens today. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. Oh yeah, the whistle. Right. Oh, the FIFA. Yeah. 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 All right, calm down. What did they tell them? Like, what type of lie? Oh, she shows here. Oh my god. I think she's just going to take everything on his shoulder. He'll be like, "Oh, I tricked everyone." Oh, right. Oh, damn, he blocked it with his. Oh, wow. Uh, uh, yeah, so it's, yeah, it cannot fire without a match. So wait, no, it wasn't him. He was there in the. It was his people. Oh boy. Just. Mm. The She clan. Alright, let's see. Damn. Well, yeah, she has a gun pointed. Okay, she might see her hairpin. Is she wearing the hairpin? Oh damn, she just brought them there. Mm. She was just sitting here. Make your wish come true. Oh, right. Damn. Let him process. Okay. Right. Damn. So she. What the hell? Yeah, what the hell? Oh my god. So she did. So she just. Okay, wait a minute. daughter of a... Yeah. So she... Oh my god, this is... Okay. Replace the slave. Oh. Use a rebel as a... What is going on here? There's new information coming. Okay. Right. So wait, she had... Yeah. So wait, okay. It seems like she's considering it, but... That right about... Oh my god. Nah, man. I was thinking she brought a lot of the thing. That is ridiculous. Okay, what are you on about? Okay, you know what? I have a lot of things to talk about it after this. Like my whole thing, my impression on Shenmei completely changed. Alongside the kidding. Yeah, 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 yeah. And because of that, she was able to come back, I guess. Shenmei, which is yeah. Okay, so this is where he asks Shenmei back. Yeah, Yeah, so that's how she was okay in like letting Shenmei come back. Yeah. Oh, good God! How dare you? After all of this, and she was just acting as a like a fool. Suspension of the rapist and embezzlement. Yeah. Alice. Oh yeah, true. You have no right to say anything now. Shut up. Oh, I feel like she's gonna hit. I don't think it's loaded. It's probably not loaded. It's not loaded. Wait, what? What the? I thought I was convinced it wasn't loaded. Oh no, wait. Oh, they shot her. No, wait. What happened? Oh, it's self sab. Okay, it was sabotaged. Okay. Yeah, the only person that cared about her, she just. God damn it. The only person who cared about her, she literally did everything to keep him away from her. Fantastic. Yeah. One about her sister, I'm pretty sure. Oh, what is that? 10 minutes ago. Oh, one who died. So Shisui. No, Suire. Oh no, don't stop. Are you serious? This now she'll be like she'll. Oh, okay. No, wait. I thought she was doing that to, because she's attacking royalty, so they'll have to. Oh, stop. She's going to. God damn it. She's going to, like, say something that'll paint her as the villain. Oh, so I was correct. So it did two things. One is take revenge for her mother. The other one is she'll be shot now or attacked because she attacked royalty. God damn it. Ugh. God damn it. Ugh. What? What's happening? What was that at the end? Oh my god. God damn it, man. Right. Okay, so that was. Wait, so I don't understand. What was the significance of the hairpin that Mama gave her? I thought it was going to, like it was going to come into play or something. Like, what just happened? And then the final scene, there's something in that bush. Okay, maybe next episode will explain, but I don't know. Right. So today's episode, it brought a few things into light, which I guess I have never. Okay, so here's the thing. Up until now, I was under the impression that Shenmei was forcibly taken to the Rare Palace. She had no intention of going there. She was engaged with Shisho or something like that. And then she was forcibly taken to the Rare Palace. She didn't want to go there. Um, and what happened over there. And then finally, like it broke her completely, made her go crazy. Then after Shisho was able to bring her back with the promise that he made with the previous emperor, she came back, and after seeing Shisho with someone else, she became even more, like broken down, and she turned into this person, this Shenmei that we see. So I genuinely thought that she was like the victim from the very get go to the end. Like everything that happened to her was just unfortunate, and she had, turns out there's a few things that are not exactly how I envisioned it to be. Number one, Shenmei went to the Rare Palace on her own accord. Like, maybe not completely on her own accord, because obviously, like, it was, um, as you can see, that she was called into the Rare Palace, and I'm pretty sure even if she refused, she would have to go there because they wanted to take her as a hostage. Uh, but you know that scene where you can see that when Shisho comes and talks to her, she's like, "Oh, what are you talking about? If I can go to the Rare Palace and if I can have a child, I can, like I'll be able to move forward," and all these things she said. Also, you can see she was smirking, and at that section, where's that part? Um, Here we go. Don't get it. It's a golden opportunity. If I can get pregnant in the Rare Palace, I could even become Empress Dowager. I can't be stuck here as the wife of a local lord in these northern outskirts. So this is the beginning of me being like, what in the hell? Like, I don't know. The way everything, it is true. I just assumed that from the very beginning that everything that happened with Chenmei was just, like completely, like she was like a victim all along. Like, yeah, she is definitely the victim. But like a lot of the things surrounding that is something that I never thought about. I just assumed that I assumed that she liked, like Shisho from the very beginning. She wanted to be, his wife. But I guess I should have thought about it, because as soon as they mentioned that Shenmei is supposed to be the person whose family Shisho came into, Shisho married into the family, immediately I should have thought that there is a possibility that she had no interest in Shisho at all, or she just, like, or something like that. Like, I wouldn't call it she had no interest, because it did seem like she did kind of like him, kind of, later on we see. But I should have realized that it's, but I don't know. I just made up this whole story in my mind that, oh, she was like she wanted to be with Shisho, but she was forcibly taken away, and then she came back, and that's why it broke her even more when she saw him with someone else. So one thing I realized very much here, it's not that, like, I thought it was like genuine love for Shisho that completely broke her later on and made her go mad and crazy. Um, After seeing Shisho with someone else. I thought it was love and affection that made her go become like this. Turns out that's not true. Like I said, there might be a little bit of affection she had for Shisho, but compared to the, I guess you could say, pride and ego that she had, it is minuscule, because it's pride, it's ego that made her go mad, not love for Shisho. The fact that she was never, like, the emperor never came to her, while she was at the rare palace, number one. Number two, the fact that after coming back, Shisho, the person who used to be below her, is now happy with someone else. You know, that, the ego, the pride, that made her god mad. So there's a big difference between, like, genuine love and, like, being like that making her go mad, and pride and ego being like, oh no, like, I am so miserable. How can someone lower than me become happy, you know, while I'm just like this? That is what made her go mad. So, yeah, she's definitely a victim. Like, a lot of the things that happened in the Rare Palace, obviously, that it shouldn't have never happened. The fact that she was taken as a hostage and all that stuff. But at the same time, I would also say that there's a lot of things that she deliberately wanted to do, but it never went her way, and her pride and ego got hurt, so she turned into this monster later on. Like, if it was just, genuine love for Shisho that made her go mad, I probably would have sympathized with her more than now that I'm sympathizing with her, because I just realized it's her own pride that made her this way. At the end. Like, I'm pretty sure it is the fact that she saw Shisho being happy with someone else while she's so miserable made her go crazy. She couldn't accept the fact that Shisho, who used to always, like, come with her, try to, like, do everything for her, that same Shisho is just settled down with someone else and is happy. She couldn't accept that while she is in such a miserable situation. I'm pretty sure that's what made her like this. So a lot of my impression on Shenmei kind of changed after today's episode. Like, yeah, I do think that what happened to her is horrible, but at the same time, I feel like what happened to Shisho is even more horrible than Shisho. Than Shenmei. Like, I don't know. I just didn't know anything about Shisho, I guess, up until now. They'd never even revealed anything. But today's episode showed, like, how Shisho was the one who genuinely wanted to help Shenmei from the very beginning, even after he had to take someone else as his wife. Even after all of that, she wanted Shenmei back and everything. So from the very get-go, from the very bottom to the up until the end, he did most of the things because she wanted the best, or she wanted to help out Shenmei. And at the same time, there's also a part of him that couldn't betray the kingdom. That is why she, as Jinshi said, he collected all the rot and filth of the empire over here so that they can come and take it all out at the same time. If Shisho was just someone who was so blindly and hopelessly in love with Shenmei that he would do anything for her, it wouldn't have went this way. He probably would have helped her and done evil, not evil, but would have done stuff which would be against the empire up until the very end. The fact that there was a part of him that never wanted to betray the kingdom as well made him, it was a balance. Like, there was like half of him that wanted the best for Shenmei, half of him that couldn't betray the kingdom. So that's why he did something that not only did he try to help Shenmei up until the very end, but he also wanted to somehow, make sure that all these embezzlement that is happening, all these people who are genuine, like genuine enemy of the kingdom, he could gather all of them in the same place, like away from the kingdom, so that they can come and just take them all out. So that's what happened. So yeah, so a lot of the things here, I don't know, I just like eh, like the picture of Shenmei that I made in my mind up until now completely crumbled in today's episode, because let me talk about the few things. Number one, um, she, even if it was out of her hands, I'm pretty sure even if she didn't want to go to the rare palace, she would have been taken there. But the difference is that she genuinely wanted to infiltrate the rare palace, because she was like, "Oh, I'm going to, I don't want to stay with some poor, lower, class, like person, like Shisho. Yeah, I'm going to go to the rare palace, and if I'm able to get a child, I'll become the emperor dowager. These type of things, that was her whole thing. So she was pretty damn happy about the fact that, oh, I'm going to go to the rare palace, this and that. So she went there. Later on, you can see that, as we see, the emperor never really went to her, and never visited her and all that stuff. People mocked her, in the rare palace. And there was a section that after that where Shisho comes in, and Shisho's like, "Oh, I cannot give up on you, I cannot get married to anyone else. Come with me, and let's get away from here. I made this, this tunnel or whatever, this secret passage. The fact that I made this in itself makes me a criminal in the kingdom's eyes. So what more will it do? Just come with me, and we'll get away." And Shenmei was actually like, "Okay," but then again, her pride just stood in her own way. Her pride, the fact that everyone mocked her, and if she gets away from here, runs away from here, people will keep mocking her, and that type of thing made her be like, "Oh, I cannot leave this place. I have to, I have to show some results. I cannot just run away." And she stayed there again, willingly. She had a choice. She had a choice there. She willingly stayed there. That's the second thing. The third thing is, after all of that, when Shisho, took the girl that, the emperor's daughter, who they excommunicated and all that. When the emperor came in, the previous emperor came in and told him that, "Oh, please take her as a wife. I'm concerned about her, this and that." He obviously he didn't want to, but then he was like, the previous emperor was like, "Oh, okay, so I'll give you a wish, whatever you want," which made him probably immediately think, as we see, that she wanted to get Shenmei out. But obviously, to bring Shenmei out, she's the hostage, technically. So to bring her out, you'll have to introduce someone in the story who can kind of take her place in a way. So I guess I don't know if he planned this completely, or maybe that's why he decided to take, the emperor's daughter as his wife and have a child with her, because he realized that if I do that, Shinmei will be able to come out. And he was like, "Okay, fine, I'm going to do it." So he did that. He had a child with her, which is Suide. And then he was like, "Oh, here's the child. Can you please release Shenmei?" Again, he's doing this for Shenmei. So then the emperor was like, "Yeah, fine, it's okay, because we have, they have a child here, and it's fine. There's no need to take Shenmei keep Shenmei as a hostage." So she was released. And then obviously Shenmei, with her pride and overinflated pride and ego, she came back. And there's two things that probably didn't set well with her. Number one is the fact that the emperor never came to her. She was not able to accomplish anything that she set off to do. She had this dream of becoming the empress dowager, this and that, this type of thing. So that never happened. The fact that people might be mocking her behind the back probably triggered her even more. And yeah, so that's number one. Number two, coming back and seeing Shisho with someone else, and the fact that he's happy, he's settled down, while she's miserable like this, probably didn't sit well with her. And this is what I'm saying. Up until now, I thought the reason why she became mad or crazy is because she genuinely loved Shisho. That's why Shisho with someone else made her go crazy. But now, after watching this episode, I've realized that no, that's not it. What made her go crazy is the fact that she couldn't tolerate the fact that Shisho is happy with someone else compared to her, who, like, she felt ashamed. She felt her ego, her like pride got hurt. That, oh, like the same Shisho that did everything for me, he's like settled down and he's all well and good, while I'm just here miserable, like just lost half of my life doing nothing. People are mocking me behind my back, and now I'm seeing the same person who always like came with me, always wanted to be with me, has just settled down with someone else, and she couldn't tolerate that. And that pride and that ego made her mistreat both, this Suide and her mother, to the point where obviously her mother died and Suide was just abused. Not only that, if you think about it more, the fact that she had Lolan after that was purely because she wanted someone to destroy the kingdom on her behalf. The thing that she was never able to accomplish, she wanted, so it was just the revenge that she wanted to have was because, not because of, like what happened to her, like obviously, like, and everything. It's also because of the fact that she couldn't stomach the fact that, like, she couldn't accomplish anything, so she wanted her child to do the same. That is only probably the only reason why she actually had a kid with Shisho, because of that, purely because of that. As we can, this is horrible, like, so yeah, obviously I'm not saying that, oh, not Suide, say, what's her name, Shenmei is, you know completely at fault. No, a lot of the things that happened was obviously because of the freaking previous emperor and his whole nonsense that he did up until now. Like, it's just crazy. Like, like you can see here that half of the problems that are happening are because of the previous emperor and his nonsense. You know, he's someone who just made so much trouble for people in the future, and now they have to they're cleaning up their mess, his mess that he made. Absolutely insane. And Jinsha also said here that, the fact that the previous emperor, did the whole thing with, like, tried to, like, made Shisho get married to his daughter, and it brought a new set of problems, which is this. So yeah, so obviously, like, he's definitely the biggest problem here. But, like, yeah, but Shenmei also had her own things which she wanted, and after not being able to, you can say, like, who's a pure victim here? Obviously, Suide and Lolan, definitely. These two are, like, probably, like, victim from the very beginning up until the very end. Shisho as well, I guess you could say, in a way. And I probably would have said that, oh, like, Shisho just completely did what her wife said, and, like, he was blind with love and all that. I probably would have said that if not for the fact that not only did Shisho balance that, but at the same time he also balanced the fact that she didn't want to betray the empire. So he also made sure to, he also made sure that he collects all these, like, like, these people, these bad influences on the kingdom, and collect them into one pocket and get them outside of the kingdom so that they could come and just take care of them. So his loyalty for the kingdom was there. It's not that his blind love for Shenmei completely blinded him and he just completely became a traitor or something. Like, he became the traitor, but for a necessary reason. And by the end, he did more good than bad for the kingdom, you could say, by, like, what happened today. So yeah, and that's impressive, I would say. That is very much impressive. So, like, so yeah, these three are probably the biggest victims in this whole thing. Like, Shisho, Lolan, and Suide. Shisho, Shishui, and Suide. So these three. And yeah, there you go. That's That's basically what happened. Good God. Like, yeah, like, I just cannot, man. Like, this is just insane. Yeah, the I genuinely had a lot of sympathy for Shenmei up until today's episode. Like, I still have sympathy for her, at least a little bit, because she was kind of the victim, kind of. But a lot of the sympathy that I had for her just faded away because of what I saw today in this episode. And I'm like, what the hell? You had so many chances. Like, yeah, even if the chances might have not worked, like I said, like all of these chances that she got probably wouldn't have worked eventually, because I'm pretty sure, like, the first chance where Shisho was like, oh, will you come with me, and she was like, oh no, I'm going to go to the rare palace, I'm going to become the empress dowager, this and that. Even if she was like, you know what, yeah, I don't want to go there, let's run away, I'm pretty sure they probably would have been caught, something would have happened, she probably would have been dragged to the. But at least her mentality or her mind would be in the right place, right? It would genuinely mean that she genuinely cared about Shisho and it was a mutual thing. So that's not there. That's number one. Number two, the second chance that they got, yeah, they probably would have been caught there as well. Shisho one was like, all right, come with me, let's run away. And she was kind of thinking about it, but then again, it stopped her. Like her own pride and everything stopped her, and she was like, no, I'm going to stay here. So that again, obviously, the whole attempt might have been a failed attempt, but again, it would kind of show that she genuinely cared for Shisho. It's not just a one-way thing going on where Shisho was always trying to just help her out while she literally didn't care about him and just wanted to do her own thing, you know. So it's kind of like that. Um, and then not only that, if after that she was completely fine with Shisho being happy with someone else, I probably would have said something like, you know what, at least, she accepted that, you know what, yeah, I was never meant to be with Shisho. He's happy with someone else, it's fine. But the fact that she got triggered with that as well, the fact that her pride didn't sit, that is the worst part of it. Like, like not only are you trying to do something for yourself, like it's all well and good, you want to become empress dowager, you want to do all of these things, it's completely fine. But why the hell are you, like, mistreating Shisho's, like, if Shisho wants to be happy with someone else, like, I know, Shisho did that purely to bring Shenmei out, like, I'm pretty sure his love for Shenmei, like, way surpassed anything that he had for anyone else, even the wife that he took, like Suire's mom. Uh, Even like his love for her probably got way surpassed, was way less than what he had for Suire. God damn it, I'm just mixing up all these names. The love that he had for Shenmei. Um, but still, like, even if that wasn't, like, even if that wasn't the case, if he genuinely liked her or something, like, couldn't, like, Shenmei just be like, you know what, I wanted to follow my own thing, you know now that he has settled down with someone else, it's fine, completely fine. But no, she had to act like the evil stepmother and be like, oh my god, like, how dare you, like, and started mistreating those two. So all of these things are just, like, nah, man, Shenmei is not what I thought she was, at least. And yeah, I probably would have felt extremely bad for her today, but after seeing everything, I don't feel as bad for her as I should have, or I would have, not should have. Sorry, I would have before today's episode. Now that's Shenmei. Like I said, Shisho was literally the person who I feel like who should be given all the sympathy here, because not only did he do everything from the very beginning to the end for Shenmei, not only did he do that, but the fact that Shenmei never realized that, or never, not realized that, I think she might have realized that, but the fact that she never appreciated that is the worst thing that could have ever happened. Can you imagine? Like, doing all of this for someone, and then, yeah, so that's number one. Number two, also the fact that he did not let his love become blind for Shenmei. He was also kind of making sure that, like all these stuff that is happening in the empire, all these bad people, these bad influence on the kingdom, that he collects all of them in one place, so that, like when need be, he can literally just throw them into the pit and make sure that the kingdom prospers. Like he did everything for the kingdom up until the very end. He did everything for Shenmei and the kingdom up until the very end. So that is commendable, I would say. Like, yeah, like, there you go. And at the end, he played the role of a necessary evil. Right. And then obviously, Shisui, the same thing with Shisui as well. She, like, she sabotaged the Feifa, and like, brought Jinshi literally to that place where her mother was, and she was like rattling her mother up on purpose. Her mother took the Feifa, tried to shoot her, but it was blocked, so she injured herself. Yeah. And then in the end, what Lolan did, she cut Jinshi. Now there's two reasons why she did that, I guess. Number one, she just, like her mother's whole "I'm going to take revenge with for the in the for the kingdom, against the kingdom," that whole thing, she fulfilled her mother wish. Number one, that's number one. Number two, she did that because, and I was correct, I literally, when she was injuring, I was like, oh my god, this is literally like, this is a well enough reason for her to get executed. So, like that. Now, I genuinely do not understand why, like I can understand, but at the same time, I feel like she had a chance to survive here, but she didn't. Like, let me know in the comments. Like, I think there might be a bigger reason. Maybe like there was no way she would have been spared. Maybe something like that. Maybe something similar to the children, right? That's probably what would have happened. Something similar to the children, where even if they're children, they wouldn't be spared. That's why she fed them poison, so that they don't have to go through that. Um, Same, maybe something similar to her, where she also realized that, oh, you know what, I'll never survive this, so let's just go out like this. Maybe that. Or maybe she acted just like Shisho acted as a villain. She decided to act like a villain so that the others could survive. Like, like she and Shisho and Shenmei literally took everything on their shoulders so that the others get shown a little bit leniency. Maybe that. Maybe that's why. She deliberately injured him. You know, like I feel like there was a good possibility that Lolan could have survived this, because we have Mao Mao here, we have Jingxi here, and some way or the other, I feel like you could have squeezed her out of the whole thing and made her survive. But that, like, injury, that sealed her whole fate over there, and she knew that, and she deliberately did that. So yeah, so I feel like she did that because she wanted the others to be shown leniency or something like that. There's one thing that she said, which is, people who have died and come back to life, can they be spared? So at first I couldn't understand. I thought that she was talking about, like, like people who have nothing to do with this. Like it was like a symbolical way she was speaking, like, oh, people who have died. And but then I remembered that Suire uh, literally died and came back to life. So that was more for her, because she died and came back to life. Literally, she was asking Jinshi to spare her in that way. So I just realized that at the end, and maybe that is why she injured. Like I said, like I feel like she made sure that the crimes that she, her father, and her mother committed way outclasses anything that the others do, so that they are shown more leniency. It's something like that. Like, just think about it. If these, like, the ones in charge here obviously are Lolan, like they're like the main people here, like the face of the She clan. Lolan, Shisho, and Shenmei. So if they do something so outrageous that they get executed and they get immediately killed off, the others probably will get be shown a little bit more leniency. I don't know, that's just what I think. So that's why Lolan decided to do that at the end, so that the whole focus falls on her, and like the focus kind of gets away from her sister, maybe. Because I genuinely think she could have, if she actually like didn't injure Jinshi and like tried to do everything to survive herself, she could have survived it. I feel like, I don't know, I just get that feeling because Mama was there. Mama gave her the hairpin and everything. Jinshi was also like ready to talk to her and ready to listen to her, you know, and all these things. Even though like everyone else was like ready to just fight and kill, Jinshi was like but that injury made everyone else like his subordinates just attacked. So yeah. Anyways, let me know if there's a bigger reason. I feel like that's why she did that, so that whole focus falls on her and her sister is spared. Okay. Now, there's one thing I do not understand in today's episode is what was that? That mark in Mama's throat. Am I? It's when Shenmei grabbed her by the throat, right? Is that Shenmei grabbed her by the throat, right? In the previous episode or something? I think so. I cannot remember. I think so. She did something like that, right? Is it that mark? Or is it something else? Because Jinshi was like, "Oh, what is that?" And I was trying to see like the mark on her throat, but then Mama woke up. So that, and then also the whole thing, the shiny thing, the bushes. What is that? No idea. Okay. Now there's another thing I want to do in today's episode, which is I need to read the whole hostage part. Let me read that because I think I vaguely understood what was going on over there, but still the details are kind of just not getting in my head. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to read this part. The story goes back more than 30 years. Late emperor was a fool who could not speak up against his mother. We know that. So the mother was the one wielding the true power, and the people referred to her as the empress behind her back. Empress Regent grew impatient with her son, who showed no interest in women, sent every beauty she could find into the rare palace. Then one day, okay, so yeah, the whole scene with Shenmei. I heard you're going to the rare palace. Is it true? Begged me to become the high concubine. Okay, I discussed about this part. We know what happened here. And she was like, "Oh, I want to become the empress dowager, this and that." And in the she was muttering like, "Oh, I can't be stuck here as a wife of a local lord." Right. Then after that, this part, inviting you to become her son's high concubine was just a front. Okay, so she's like, a front. What are you saying? They practically begged me to, and she's laughing. Perhaps that's how it seemed to you. When my grandfather was dying in his, what really made me confused? This part, like I said, while I was reacting, I couldn't understand a lot of the things they were saying. Is because this whole show has such an overly complicated family tree. When she was using like stuff like grandfather, grandmother, I was trying to think like, wait, who is she talking about? Which grandfather? Like, this is the thing about the show that just drives me crazy. The family tree is crazy complicated. So now I need to settle down and think, who is she talking about? So my grandfather was dying in his bed. Okay, so grandfather. Grandfather, that means right. Wait a minute. When my grandfather was dying in his bed, he squeezed one thing out like a curse, that there was nothing he could do now that his daughter was hella. Okay, so grandfather means I was trying to remember if I know who her grandfather is, but I don't really know. So it's her grandfather, I guess, which is um Shenmei's Shenmei's father. So yeah, we I don't think we have seen him, right? Or have we? I don't know. Whatever. It's just okay. So there was nothing he could do now that his daughter was held hostage. So there you go. So she's like hostage, taking the daughter of a high official as a hostage while outwardly referring to her as concubine is quite common. Yeah, that happens. Like a lot of this like in these type of like kingdoms and stuff. This is like some high level politics. So right, father gave up on you once, mother. Right, but something completely unexpected happened. So after that, Shisho gave up on her kind of, but then the late emperor's inclinations. So Shisho probably thought like, alright, he went to the Rare Palace, it's over, done. But then, as she says, like the late emperor, we know what he did. He was not interested in adult women. So she was like, so Lolan is like, Master Jinshu, do you know the reason why the Rare Palace goes so large? Okay, so this part, I need to understand this part. This part kind of confused me, the whole slave part. I heard that Shisho convinced the Empress Regent to expand it. Yeah, he suggested the expansion of the Rare Palace as a new public project. Okay, to replace the slave trade. That is, so slave trade question mark. Mother, you are truly ignorant about what grandfathers did to draw the attention of the Empress Regnant. But slavery was legal back then. Okay. I heard they were treated similarly to pleasure district courtesans. Wait, what? Oh, I heard they were treated similarly to pleasure district courtesans. Okay. However, that was not always the case for slaves sold to other nations. Okay. That's why the Empress Regnant banned the slave trade. The Shi clan, with their daughter held hostage, had no choice but to cut down on slave trading, which was their family business. Ah, I see. So her being the hostage made her family kind of rain down and stop the. So the Empress Regnant wanted to stop slave trade, but the Shi clan was just doing their own thing. So they were like, all right, let's take their daughter as a hostage so that they cut down on slave trade because we literally have their daughter as a hostage. Right. When grandfather felt that he was out of options, father came and suggested this. Why don't we use the Rare Palace as a place to send the leftover slaves? Right. So this was the grandfather, we can see that now. Young women could serve as servants and court ladies, men could serve as eunuchs. Expanding Rare Palace could be sold to the Empress Regnant as an idea to get. Yeah, and so that's how this Empress Regnant was also on board with this because she was concerned about her son not being interested in women. So it's just like, oh, make the Rare Palace bigger, bring more people in, bring more women in, that thing. While they could just do their own thing with the slave. Okay, you're right. Also, the families who sold off their daughters would feel less guilt if their girls went to the Rare Palace instead of foreign land. So yeah, now they're like, okay, so instead of just selling them to foreign lands, we can just bring them here into the Rare Palace, and the families will be happy with it. Empress Regnant will be happy with it because she'll be like, oh, there's more people, more women coming in, and and we also don't have to stop the whole slave trading, like that whole thing. The kingdom is not going to pressure us as well, that. So it's a win-win-win situation, I guess. That's what he thought. Right. It's a win for everyone. Like literally, like I said, father tried to earn the trust of the Empress Regnant so that he could restore the status of the Shi clan and get you the hostage released. So there you go. So Shisho did all of that so that why was he giving all these ideas to expand and to do these to come into the good books of the Emperor Regnant? He wasn't doing it for his own benefit. He was doing it just so that for the hope that maybe they'll let Shenmei go now. Right, there you go. You were so troublesome, mother. To think that this would all have been simpler if you had escaped back then. So then we come to the whole escape thing where, Shisho went and said, I made a secret path. And she was like, oh, okay. But then she was like, oh, my colleagues and everyone else are going to make fun of me. I cannot leave this place. Yeah. So she's like, yeah, you couldn't trust a man who would throw away his status just to be with you, question mark. And and then she's like, oh, there's no way I could have trusted that fool. He took over the family immediately after my father fell ill, and took this girl's mother as a wife. So there you go. And then the whole thing with like Suide comes into play. Like, oh, obviously she had no idea what was going on in the background. So okay, so it brings out the hairpin, and she's like, the only ones who can wear this symbol alongside the Kirin are those who carry imperial lineage. And then Shen was like, oh, the late emperor never admitted it. And she was like, yeah, but he felt guilty the whole time. So here we go. He was worried that the baby he threw out of the rare palace, apparently he came to see her occasionally with the help from father. He did deny it once, but he knew she was his daughter. Right. That's why he asked father, who was single at that time, yeah, take my daughter as your wife. Father accepted the daughter, born between the emperor and your lady in waiting, as his wife. So, lady in waiting is Taiho, yeah. So they could have just said Taiho, like they're like using all these like these, and I'm like, wait, lady in waiting, who's that? And it was so difficult to understand this part. And later, a child was born between them. So yeah, so the late Emperor Taiho daughter, you know, who gets married with Shisho daughter, which is Shisui or Suide as we know her now. Her name was Shisui, obviously, which Shenmei didn't like, and Shenmei is like, oh no, you're not Shisui, and all that stuff happened. If that was already explained. Shisui, a good name for the name of the Shi clan. Your Majesty, you told me you would grant me a wish, so here we go. May I have Shenmei, the high-ranking concubine, as a gift? Obviously, the emperor couldn't care less because he's not interested in adult women. We know that. So he's like, yeah, and also there's no need to keep her as a hostage. So, with Shi name given to his grandchild, late emperor was also relieved. He felt it no longer necessary to hold a hostage, and thus he were bestowed upon father as a gift. So that is the whole background. So here we go. Father did everything for you, even knowing that in the end it would end in a catastrophe. So here we go. This part I'm also going to read. The whole part where they explain how Shisho gathered all these people who are bad for the kingdom over here so that they can all be taken out at the same place. Okay, so but once dust settled, it was you, mother, who took control of the clan. Do you know what the clan members who sucked up to you did at the palace? Embellishment, obviously, we see. Embezzlement, sorry. Embezzlement, yeah. They took part in all matter of corruption. Same ones who spoke up against it were ousted, so only the rot remained. Father took on the role of the traitor to destroy every rotten element of the Shi clan in one explosive catastrophe. Mastering Shi Piper Renford, scheming Tanuki, okay. The palace rot should mostly be cleaned out by now, over here. How do you know for certain this will all work? If it hadn't, we'd just taken over the nation, which is true, I guess. Nation is that weak, it doesn't deserve to exist. Okay. You surrounded yourself with smooth-talking idiots. Do you really think you could defeat the royal guard that way? Right, so there you go. So that is the whole thing. So Shenmei was like... So Shenmei was basically like... What can I say? Like... overly prideful, incompetent leader who got taken advantage of up until the very end, even by the people who like smooth talked her and just sucked up to her. They were all just doing embezzlement and all that behind her back, and she was like, oh, these people are all like, like, yeah, she was like, she was just happy by being smooth talked, and like, yeah. And it makes sense, people who have like an overinflated ego and extreme pride, they are very weak to people who smooth talk them. Like if they're like, oh, you know what, you're so good, you're this, that, and like it'll feed your pride and ego, and you'll be like, oh my god, this person is very nice, while behind your back that person is stabbing you, you don't even know. So yeah, it makes sense. It was perfect. She was like one of the perfect like scapegoats for the other people to use when she was the leader. Like people were like, oh, this is fantastic, like like this lady, she has no idea, all we have to do is just tell her a few nice things every day. In the background we can just do whatever the hell we want to, and she's not even, and the people who actually, as Lolan said, people who were actually good people who wanted to go against this, they were all just kicked out. It's like a group of bunch of, as she says, it's a bunch of rot, bunch of bad people at the same place. If there's one or two good people in the middle, the bad people will be like, oh no, these people are not okay. They'll make sure to kind of get them out of here, to make it just a place of rot. And Shisho used that to his advantage, where he was like, you know what, you know this is always going to be a pit of rot, because if any good thing comes in, they're just going to out it, they're just going to throw it out, so it'll always be a basket full of rotten apples. So all that I need to do is, like, keep them like this, and do this whole rebellion thing and bring the army in, so that later on they can just take all of these rotten apples out and throw it away. That's what they did, the Shisho did at the end. So yeah, there you go. Right. So yeah, I like, now I understand the whole slave part. Kind of, I couldn't understand that part while I was reacting, but after reading it properly, I now understand what is going on, and I think I have a clear understanding of everything. So then obviously Shenmei then literally tries to shoot Lolan, but this, it just blasts, the whole thing blasts in her hand, and then Shire, uh, sorry, Lolan asks, uh, here we go, here we go. Will you let those who have died once go? At first, I couldn't understand what she was. I was thinking she was saying this in some kind of symbolic way, but then I remembered that literally, Suire is someone who died once. So it was kind of, she was kind of making sure her sister survives. So wait, what was her second wish? She asked for something else, right? Wait a minute. What's the other? So she goes and takes her mother's um thing, the clothing. Here's my other wish, and does the whole thing. The Right, wait a minute. Yeah, she cuts his face. Thank you. And yeah, so this is the best I could do. Like, obviously, and I doubt it was only because of that, because he wanted to take revenge on her mother's, what her mother wanted and all that. Um, but I think she did that. There's another reason. Is because she incriminated her here in such a way that she will definitely be killed. But maybe she was expecting the whole brunt to fall on her and her father, which her father's already dead, so that the amount of, like, I don't know, like the responsibility on her sister and anyone else who is innocent could get lowered, because she's taking the full brunt of it. Maybe that's why. And then you can see, like, what's his name? Basen, right? Yeah, who comes in and sees the thing and shoots, Lolan. Now, I feel like a lot of people might be like, "Oh, what the hell? Why did he come and shoot her immediately? Like, she wasn't even saying anything." And like, no, I feel like it's a very big deal. If, as they said, that if the person in the command, that is literally the prince, gets somehow injured, like worst case scenario, the person who was like his subordinate, who was supposed to be his bodyguard, the fact that he allowed that to happen to Jinshi would be a grave enough offense to have him executed. So yeah, I think that is how crazy it is. Like, oh, you were there, you were supposed to protect him with your own life, while you were here, you're the person, like, the prince got injured, execute him. You know, it's that crazy. I think that is why, like, that whole reaction, like that whole thing was, it was that, like that little thing was that important over there. And like Bassinger shot immediately, and I think like the first one he kind of missed it, like probably hurt her hand or something. The second one they reloaded and shot her again. Okay, so this part Jinshi kind of explains it here. My body feels heavy. Where is she? Okay, so he goes into the, no, where's that part where, okay, here it is. I knew the cut on my face would cause a subordinate to get punished. Yeah, so not only punished, like I said, I feel like it wouldn't even be surprising if they decide to execute him because he let Jinshi get injured. That wouldn't be a surprise. It's that crazy in these type of, like, royal settings and everything. Absolute insanity. So yeah, right. But I accepted Lolan's wish, you know. Anyway, so there you go. That whole part. Right, and that is today's episode. And there you go. So yeah, in a nutshell, Shisho acted as a necessary evil, and he did the whole play at the beginning, died in everyone's hands, um, like all of them, Then we had Lolan explaining to us everything that happened, and her mother, who was like a hostage, that whole thing she explained, and then her mother literally just shot herself, like you can see in a way. And then Lolan made sure her sister survives. Then, just like her father, she acted as a villain, and yeah, they took her life over there. They do say that Lolan's body was not found. I don't think she's surviving. I don't know. This is one thing I've always said. Wait, they did say, right, that Lolan's body was not found? Wait a minute. No, that is the last I saw of Lolan. I think that's what Jinshi says, right? Um, that was the last I ever saw of Lolan. So yeah, don't think her body was found. Like, I've always said this before, like where I've said that, oh, in anime, like as long as the body is of someone is not found, I don't assume that person is dead. If you see the body, if it's actually confirmed that it's dead, then that person is dead. Because they always like do these type of things where, like somehow they come back. But I just don't see any way possible for Lolan to come back. It did seem like Lolan got shot, like actually got shot in a vital spot, got shot in the chest. So, but I don't know, maybe I don't know why I'm still expecting some miracle to save her. Like, literally, it's just, I don't know. You know what? Let's just wait and see. I don't think there's anything to see after this because I'm pretty sure Lolan's dead. But I don't know, man. Sometimes with some crazy plot twist, maybe like, there was maybe there was something, the place where she got shot, maybe there was something there, maybe some sort of something protected her from the bullet or something. I don't know, like, like it's like it happens so many times in so many other animes. So even though it seems like in no way something crazy like that will happen here, I still end up hoping, but I don't know. Anyways, enough about that. So that is it. I'm going to end it here. I didn't do the scene by scene discussion today because there's a lot to talk about today's episode. I think I talked about almost everything that was required for today's episode. So I'm going to end it here. So that is it, guys. And also, like, if there's something, maybe I'm misunderstanding or something, this show is pretty complicated. You can let me know in the comments. So that is it. That was my reaction to episode number no, what? 23 of Apothecary Diaries season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with the final episode of Apothecary Diaries season 2. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.